Ladies and gentlemen, we have on the line, I was going to say all the way from America, but he's actually been in the UK for a week or so now. It's Drew Dixon. How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I am great. It's be better. It's amazing. I'm so happy to be back in the UK finally. It's wow. I thought I'd be back sooner than this. And and the universe had different plans.
No, you've just played Scotland. We were just talking a little bit off air.
Yeah.
Is that the first place you played in the UK when you landed?
On this trip, yes. Yeah. So I flew in. God, just the flight in was an adventure in itself, man. So I had to do Boston, New York, Iceland, Glasgow, and then take a train from Glasgow up to Elgin, and then we played in Elgin. And then to get to London, I had to go from Elgin to Inverness and then fly from there to London. And then get about an hour-long taxi to where I'm staying now, which in Shoreditch area of London.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. There's a film there.
All the above, man. I just need to throw some sort of water vehicle in there, and I think I've hit every single type of transportation.
But but it's great because, like I said a little bit off, and we'll talk a little bit more about the UK element of your short tour. But obviously, you're going to be in the sunny, the sunny realms of Blackpool. Have you ever been to Blackpool?
No, I keep hearing. Yeah, so that's funny you say that. So someone mentioned that I need to make sure that I bring a jacket or a raincoat or something like that to Blackpool. Is that what it's known for?
Yeah, very much so. Donkey rides. I tell you what, it's akin to a little bit of Coney Island mixed in with Atlantic City, a little bit like that.
Okay. Oh, so it's kind of a destination town, huh?
Oh yeah. There's fairgrounds. There's waxwork museums. There's trams. There's a big tower there, the big iconic Blackpool Tower. When you're not playing too far from there, it's a place called Dirty Blondes, and it's and I was very, very fortunate to be at the First Country event about 6-8 weeks ago, me and my friends, and it is an absolute brilliant place. Only small. And they're on top of you, but I think your kind of music, man, it just lends itself. And it's not just country people. I mean, it's free to get in anyway. You've got people passing by and they go, oh, and they'll go in, and it's try and pinch me cowboy hat or whatever. But and it's going to be such a great night. But
absolutely, man.
Yeah, so it's quite of a whirlwind for you, isn't it? Where are you from? Where are you based?
Yeah, so I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina. In the American South, and I was there for 18 years, and then went to Georgia, to the University of Georgia for college, and was there, and then moved to Nashville about 11 years ago, a little more than 11 years ago. So I've been in Nashville, Tennessee for a very long time. And so that's where I'm based out of now, and I'm lucky that I'm not too far from where I grew up. It's about a 7-hour drive from Nashville to where I grew up, so I can get home if I need to, but it's it's far enough away that I still can kind of have that detachment if I need it.
I couldn't believe it. Like I said, I went to Canada a couple of weeks ago. I went from Niagara to Quebec, and I'm like, oh, it's a long drive. I had to break it up into 3-hour segments, just to get to break it up a little bit, or else it would be like, what,
Yo, yeah, absolutely. It's crazy. Even driving the East Coast is nice because sometimes you get like the cities or the towns or whatever to break the drives up a little bit. When you get out west, there's nothing. I mean, you have the beautiful landscape to look at, but there's nothing there, man. So you do these drives for 12 hours, and all you see is like a cactus or like a truck stop, and like that's it. And it's crazy, man. And that's the coolest thing about coming here, because I was telling you right before we came on that that train ride from Elgin, it was up the coast of Scotland. It was beautiful. Yeah. It's like it's 4 hours on a train, but you look either side of you and there's this, picturesque countryside, or there's the water on the other side. It was incredible. It was amazing.
No, there are places in Scotland, because I've worked extensively in Scotland over the years, and it's just one of those. And even when you're driving there, unless it's severe weather, there's actually nothing on the roads. When you get out of like the Glasgows and the Edinburghs, there's just nothing on the road, and you're just like, this is amazing, But these pine trees and stuff, and it is good. It is good. It's awe-inspiring.
It really was. And even like the ride to the airport from so it was about a 45-minute drive from where I was staying for the gig we played to the airport. And, it was like 8 a.m. and we were all kind of, we had a little bit too much fun the night before. So we weren't feeling the best, but then like, you have these insane visuals the entire time. And so you couldn't help but be in a good mood. And by the time you got to the airport, everything, all the, the next morning scaries were behind you.
Yeah, you got all the nice scenery, you got all the lovely trees, and then you've got Blackpool on Saturday, which is totally different, mate. It's one of them. You sort of like spend about 3 hours.
You're telling it so well. Now I'm so excited. I was excited at the beginning of the interview, and every time you say that, I'm getting more and more nervous that what I'm about to walk myself into.
I am spinning a yarn or two. I mean, it's one of them that it's a Marmite kind of town where the Marmite, your Vegemite kind of thing, where you go, I either like it or I don't. So
okay,
I'll ask you once.
Well, hey, man, you named 2 places that I've always had a good time. So if it's like Coney Island or Atlantic City, man, I'll fit right in.
Oh well, there you go. And there's beer flowing anyway, so that's cool. And again, Chris, who hosts the Dirty Blondes, you'll get on with him. He's a great host. We've hung with him a few times, and he's good.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Well, right, let's take you back then. So obviously, in South Carolina, you grew up. Was music everything that you thought you was going to be, or was there something else that you were planning to do?
Yeah, I think early on I had the music seed planted. My family on both sides had some music background, and my dad's side was very much in the community theater aspect, and so drama and plays and the thespian side, and then my mom's side was very much on the church side. Her mom always had we were singing from the hymnals, and was trying to teach us all the hymns on the piano. And I have an older sister as well who was 4 years older than me, and she was always listening to some musical soundtrack, be it Phantom of the Opera or Cats or Newsies or the list goes on. So it was kind of from both sides. And growing up, I did play sports and I always enjoyed that, and had my good showings, my bad showings on it. So I enjoyed playing sports, but the entire time the music remained constant throughout, from when I was probably 7 years old, and it never really took a step back. It was always there. So I knew from early on that I wanted to do it. And once I got into the college that I wanted to go to in Georgia, the town that it's in is a huge music town. It's known for a very vibrant music scene. Yeah. And so that helped a lot. And that kind of furthered my progression of my sound, I guess, and especially my influences, which I guess one is the other. And then obviously after that, it was a time to make a decision of where I wanted to move next, from a professional standpoint. And I was looking at either Austin, Texas, or Nashville. And literally the coin flip, or the proverbial coin flip, came down to I'd been to Nashville one time and I'd never been to Austin. So I was like, I'll go to Nashville. And I knew about 5 people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a little bit closer to home, and not that that really influenced the decision immediately, but it is nicer now, having been there as long as I said. It's nicer having been a drive away rather than Austin, Texas. I've made the drive from Austin to Nashville before, and that's a hike, man. So it's cool being a little bit closer. And Nashville was already a lot of fun when I got there, but now obviously in the past 10 years, it's blown up so much into so many different areas of entertainment that it's been cool to kind of see that and be a part of that.
It's quite interesting, really, with Nashville and country music in general. And I've said this pretty much in every interview that I've done, that I think that country music has broken into several genres within country music. Because like I said, with your sound, you're more sort of bluesy, rocky, grungy kind of, really good, that kind of vibe on your music, which I love. And there was another band that very much, I think, is in line with yourself, trio of guys he interviewed, I think it was last year, called the Nashvillians.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got that kind of, and again, I've listened to your music, and I listened to quite a few people within that, I would say, within that genre, within the bigger genre.
Sure.
It's like you can imagine yourself watching a movie, maybe on Netflix, wherever, and there's like, there's a, you're driving down the woods, and it's got that atmospheric vibe about it. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
100%, absolutely. And that is a huge compliment. So thank you, because the way I write in such a way that I visualize the scene as I'm writing it. So if someone else can take it, and it's not that they have to visualize the exact same scene, because that's the whole point. It's whatever the listener wants. But like, if a song can take you to a specific place, whether it's a real or fake place, you know, like I have songs about like fictional settings, but I've got songs that are very personal and are very real. Yeah. And so it's like, but if you can make the listener, instantly or at some point, go to a place in their mind while they're listening to it, I think that's awesome. That's like, to me, that's one of the top compliments I can have. So thank you. I'm glad that it translates to that. That's
yeah. Because it is. I mean, country music is such a thing. I mean, country music in essence is telling the story. And like I said, whether it's visual within your mind, telling the story as well, and putting that on paper, and other people picking that up like a book, like a sort of virtual book, and living it through your eyes, then that is country music. I mean, people think country music's three chords of the truth, and my grandmother got run over by a lawnmower or something. Right. It's not.
And that's the thing is, like you said, like the country umbrella, that what you just said, three quarters of the truth. Mom got run over by a lawnmower. That's a part of country. That's one section of it, and that's one corner, but that's not all of it. And I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated today in listening to contemporary country artists and saying, that's not country, and why is that labeled country? And it's like, it's the natural evolution of any sound. Rock and roll today doesn't sound like rock and roll from the 50s. Pop music today sounds nothing like pop music from the 70s. It's like, that's what happens. And so I think it's a beautiful thing that, in today's age, there are so many subgenres, because at the end of the day, it's what resonates to the listener is what's good. It doesn't have to be country's good, blues is bad, rap's good, R&B's bad. It's like, it shouldn't be that. It should be, if it sounds good to you, then it's good. Then it's good music. And that's what matters.
Exactly. There are elements to like I said, the bigger family of country music that I don't quite like. And I know a lot of it's political over there as well for the charts. You might have one artist having 5 entries in the charts, and it's like, really? And it's all sorts of tailgates and honky tonks and stuff like that, which is cool. And I like some of it I don't. But then you have what I would class as the breath of fresh air talent, which is yourselves, a lot of people who are maybe not signed to a big label, or maybe doing their own thing, and some people actually saying to themselves, and I've met them so many times, saying, yeah, we got the door slammed on us, we're going to form our own label. And more power to them as well. And they've said, we're not going to move. We kept getting told we have to write this way, and we went, no, we're going to go our own way. So they've gone past that, and I think that is amazing. And like I said, in England, we've got that similar thing where people now, certainly since COVID, they've gone behind the scenes. They've wrote some amazing music. They've thrown everything, including the kitchen sink, at production. They've probably got their own studio in the house because they couldn't go anywhere else. And the promotion has really took it to a different level. And now we're seeing a scene over here now that is just blown people away, And it covers multi-layers of genre. You go to a festival and you go, that is totally different than that. I mean, I could hear that in a coffee shop. I call it coffee shop country, where you're going out with a latte or something, and you're in the background, somebody nice and mellow, playing an acoustic, doing their thing, And I think it all lends itself to a good melting pot of country music.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think I've had this conversation a lot of times with people to where genres today are very, I'm almost like old school, because so many things that are classified country today could also fit in pop, because there's so many producers that have now hip hop and pop backgrounds coming in and producing these country songs. Yeah. So they sound like a stereotypical country song. And to some people that doesn't sit right with them. And to some people, like I say, again, it sounds good. If people enjoy it, it's good music. That's it. And so I think it's great. And I think that genres are useful. I want to avoid the word good, but I think genres are useful for categorizing certain things. Yes. if it's a country playlist or a country's radio station or a country award or something like that, I think then it's useful. Again, not necessarily good, because if someone wins a country award for something that someone doesn't think is country, then it's a whole thing. But like, it's useful for those things.
Yeah.
But if you go on any person, like, everyone always wants like the younger demographic. Everyone wants the teenage demographic. That's what everybody's trying to tap in on, because that's who's listening, that's who's spinning, that's who's streaming, that's who's buying the concert tickets, blah, blah, blah. If you go to any of their playlists, they're going to have Luke Combs next to Post Malone, next to DaBaby, next to Alan Jackson, next to Dan and Shay, and it's going to be that all the way down. And it's like, and most of those songs are going to have almost each other on a feature at one point. It's not even just going to be just them. It's going to be them featuring an artist from another genre altogether. And it's like, the whole point is to create a song that resonates with who you want it to resonate with. And not necessarily like it's targeted, but like with your audience.
Yep.
And so if you're creating rap, or you're creating hip hop or country western or blues or rock, it's like, all you're wanting to do is put out a song that you enjoy and that you hope someone else does. And then with the political side of it, it is a bummer to see that, sometimes there's definitely, I don't want to say behind the scenes handshakes, but like it's the people that win the awards, people that have done something right. And whether that's something is something that other people don't agree with, that remains to be seen. But like, I think for the most part, when there are people that have multiple songs on the charts, it could be because the right people are pulling the right strings for that person, and so I can't knock them for doing it, for having someone fighting hard for them behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So that I kind of take it with a grain of salt that way, or at least try to look at it from a good perspective, and like, and not try to be too I just try not to get me too down when I see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Luke Combs has some of the greatest music out there right now. He's incredible. I think Tyler Childers is incredible. I think all that stuff. It's like, but there's a lot of people that would also, I think, would be great on the country charts. But just the fact that, like, man, Luke's got a team working for him that is unbeatable, and that's the whole thing. I think that's something that you gain perspective on when you work in the industry. And not that I'm working in the industry, but at least living in Nashville and seeing a lot of it, I think that kind of makes you appreciate some of the stuff that other people kind of scratch their heads at. It's like, why is this person winning these awards? Not necessarily just Luke. I'm just kind of using them as an example. But like, man, it's because not necessarily is it just the person in front of the camera. It's because there's layers of people behind him that are flawless.
But it's a jigsaw, isn't it? All the pieces have got to be put together. But ultimately, the first piece got to be in there is you've got to get a God-given talent, which obviously Luke has proven over the years. I mean, we're very fortunate over here 3 or 4 weeks ago when the C2C was on, and he just absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
What was so funny was, though, he came on his first song and the microphone wasn't switched on; it broke. So, and it's going like, "Beer Never Broke My Heart" was kicking in, and he's like, he's opening his mouth, and he's going to the sound guys, and it was so.
Oh no!
And the look he gave this guy, I was like, oh my God, God help him afterwards, like,
Yeah, for real.
But you're right in what you're saying. It is. Like I said, a layer of support, and everybody who's come onto the show, when I've asked about, any advice for up and coming people, the first thing people say is having that key support around you, and having the wherewithal within yourself to who's good and who's bad, because it is a bit of a lottery. I mean, you could hang your hat on somebody and they've just run away with all your money, and I've seen that happen so many times,
Yeah.
So a lot of it is luck, but also putting your trust into somebody. When you do put your trust into people and saying, well, actually, I can crack on doing my writing, and write the really good stuff, and having the right people and the promotion people. Like over here now, like we were saying about the UK scene, people have now, over the last year or two, starting to appreciate the PR people, whereas before they did the PR, maybe on the money side of things, and not having those people to do your TikToks, your Instagrams, your Twitters. Somebody said to me, and the BCMA actually, Paul, do you know TikTok? And I, for using on the media, I went, no, I'm 60. You know, I said no. Um, but all the others, you can appreciate that, and I think what people over here now have started to do is get people involved who have got links to these socials to promote them better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's weird because it's not that there ever was a formula, but so I did a program in college called the music business program, and I thought it was fantastic. And they'd bring in some great keynote speakers and guest speakers and blah 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 and all that stuff. But even then, the music industry was changing. But then, like, the music industry is changing now every 6 months. Like every 6 months, there's this new thing because it's such a copycat. I mean, in a lot of industries are copycat. I mean, the NFL's a copycat league, NBA's a copycat. Everybody says that. The entertainment industry is a copycat thing. It's like if someone hits a home run melody and it's a 50-week #1, the next year there's going to be hundreds of songs that come out that sound kind of like that song. That's what's going to happen. Same thing with marketing. If someone sees someone market something in a very unique way and it works, do that now.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of that with TikTok, and so all the viral videos on the dancing and the pointing at the words as they come up on the screen, and that's like everybody's doing that because somewhere along the lines people realize, oh, that's what's resonating with people, and that's what's working. I have TikTok. I'm embarrassed to say that I probably should use it more, I guess, or maybe not embarrassed, but like I probably should admit that I should choose more and upload more content. And I think you said something really interesting that I thought about, people putting everything they have into production. And I think that in terms of like the actual production, you can put everything you want into a song and have one of the greatest producers in the world produce it and have this track that's flawless, and everyone goes in, everything's tunes up, best musicians play on it, blah, blah. It's like, but also then there's something in these days to people hearing the most stripped down version, and that goes back to the TikTok thing and the Instagram live and Instagram story posts and people just sitting there with a guitar, like me right now. So I'm in my Airbnb in London, all this behind me, not my place. And then just sitting wherever playing guitar onto a phone camera, not to a $30,000 microphone, not to $300 an hour producer, not to anything like that. It's just them microphone, because the fan can then kind of feels like it's to them. It's relatable. It's like, oh, they're right there. I can hear what they sound like when they're just messing around. So it's like you can go either way, And I think that's something that I've seen more and more too. That's definitely, you hear people saying you just need more content, and that when they say that, they're meaning like, you have to post as much as you can, because even if it's just like a 15-second clip up to a 1-minute clip, and after 1-minute clip, everyone's attention's gone. So don't do anything more than that. But like having that sort of wherewithal to put all that on social media, I think that is part of the kind of, it's like the, I don't know how to describe it. It's the what's the phrase I'm looking for? Like the voyeuristic aspect of like everyone would love like behind the music on VH1 like that.
Yes.
Like I don't know how many of the listeners out there will remember or know what that is at all. But I used to watch that growing up all the time. It was incredible because you saw behind the scenes. But like now, everyone has a phone. Everyone's phone's in their pocket. Everyone's camera's in their pocket all the time. And so you have these behind the scenes looks all the time. And I think that when you're able to go to an artist who you're used to just seeing, pictured a certain way, or only on award shows or only on concerts or whatever, and you can see all of a sudden like that's them at lunch, we'll say. I think that's cool. That's a cool way to use it. And some people are incredibly good at staying on top of that. Like I think Tyler Rich does a really good job of staying on that. He's always been very good at social media ever since I've known him now for, I don't know, 6-7 years, and he's always been very on the forefront of it. And so you have, I don't know, it's that's the thing where whether it's copycat or not, if it works, it works. And it's tough sometimes to jump on the wave as it's going, because you never know, like next year, next month, next whatever, everyone always says this is the next TikTok, because like it was Facebook, and then Instagram was like, this is the new Facebook, and then Facebook bought Instagram, and then then Snapchat started, then someone's like, oh, this is gonna be the new Snapchat, then now there's Vine, then again bringing up Luke, like Luke had a huge following on Vine. That's how it would help him boost him. Who did Famous Friends with Chris Young? I'm blanking. Kane Brown. Kane Brown.
Yeah.
Kane Brown.
Yeah.
Had his YouTube following. It's like, people that are able to kind of be on the forefront of that obviously have benefited. It's just, it's that jigsaw. It's not even just having the jigsaw. You literally have to put all the pieces together in the jigsaw at the exact right time. Yeah. And that's why there's no set formula. Like if anyone who had a bajillion dollars could just be famous, then they could just be famous. Yeah. I guess these days, if you have a bajillion dollars, you're famous. But if in the music industry, you're not guaranteed success just because you throw a lot of money at somebody. You can use all the money to use promotion or production or whatever in the world. But if it's not the right timing, if you don't have the right people pushing it, if you're not doing it put in the right places, that is the formula that no one has necessarily a finger on the pulse of, because it's ever changing every 3, 6, 12 months.
Yeah. It's having that visionary as part of your support group as well. It's because you don't know everything yourself. Right. And I think obviously with COVID as well, and people doing, like you were saying, the raw but live performances on Facebook, whether you are Luke Combs or whether you are, somebody just setting off just to make the way, and people, you're getting thousands of viewers, and they're understanding then that, hang on a minute. And then when you come out of the COVID lockdowns, as we've done, and they start releasing the singles that they've produced there, then that's where people are going. And like, we've got a great singer over here, Kezia Gill, and she's got great people behind her, but she's gone from something like here before lockdown to here with all what we've said, what you've said. So now she's playing, like you said, she's playing the C2C during the day, and there's hundreds of followers around, and it's building up. Shiza took her on tour, and it just seems to be, but a lot of it's via Facebook and promotion, so it's no longer the magazines and you're looking, because I was involved in advertising for a number of years with Yellow Pages. And I used to say to people, it's all right, you might have the best company, but if you're in the wrong book or the wrong page, you've just wasted your money. It's got to be relevant to somebody who's looking for you.
Right, absolutely.
Make sure it and there is a formula to that, and it's by asking questions to an artist and saying, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" Right. Okay. How do we get there? You know, and what are you prepared to do as an artist? And it's that. It's that passion you want from the other side. You've got a passion as an artist like yourself, but it's also the passion that you can see from other people who are, yes, they've got their own businesses to run, and there's a cost to that, but also they've got to have that passion. Yeah, absolutely. Lip service, That's what you said earlier about, finding the right people and trusting the right people, and then being able to hold those people accountable. Having, you can have the right people around you, and then I think times can change, and you have to have different right people around you. And that's sort of thing. And while we were saying, if there's my 5-year plan, 10-year plan, some people might fit into that 10-year plan, some might fit into 5, some might just fit into the 3-month plan, so that sort of thing. Yeah. That's the luck of the draw. That's the tough part, because you never know. You hear all the horror stories, like, Tom Petty fired his everything at one point, and just because he got paranoid because someone took millions and millions of dollars from someone that he trusted. I don't know. I think it's a luck of the draw, in having people, again, that you can trust and rely on. And you can see, especially now, kind of connecting the two thoughts, the social media side, and that, like, having a team that's prepared to not only make the right choices for you, but then also promote you on their sites as well. Like, if you've got,
I don't know why you would. I'm just throw a random number. If you had 20 people working for you behind the scenes, if you're an artist, you have 20 people working for you, and those 20 people believe in everything you're doing, and they're just all on board. When you post something, no matter how many followers you have, if 20 other people are also are posting that same thing and tagging you and all that stuff like that, like that's I mean the audience grows that much. That's huge. And so then and then it's like everyone wants to be on board with the person that's cool at the moment, right? So if people are saying, "Oh, all these people are posting this, I should post it too," and then the snowball of just of support and what's the word I'm looking for too? Momentum. There it is. And the momentum builds, and that's so crucial. That's so critical to anything at this moment. Again, saying because the industry changes so fast.
Okay, so let's have a look at what's happening now then. So obviously in the UK, we're at Dirty Blondes on Saturday. Where else in the UK can people come and see you?
Okay, so where is it? London. So London this Thursday. We play the Green Note with Backwoods Creek, and they're a group of guys who I've known for a few years now, and they're incredible.
Oh, brilliant. Love them guys.
Yeah, man. I had the good fortune of touring with their guitarist the first time I was ever in the UK, right before the shutdown, and so that's how I initially met the guys. And we got together on a song last year. They asked me to sing a verse and a chorus on a song called Mama's Prayer. So they've been nothing but good to me. So we're playing a show together this Thursday in London at the Green Note. And then Friday in Preston. Oh yeah. We'll be at Ships and Giggles there, having a great time. That was one of our favorite shows we played on the last trip. So I've stayed in touch with the guys that work there. They've always been great. And that's actually how we got on the Scotland gig as well, just because it was all connected. Oh wow. So Thursday London, Friday Preston, Saturday Dirty Blondes and Blackpool, and then Sunday we're playing in Walsden, which is outside of Manchester, and we'll be at the Mill. Also with Gary on that one as well.
Yeah, Gary Quinn's doing that one as well as the Dirty Blondes as well on Saturday, and he's a great guy. He's got a new song out at the moment, so we'll be promoting that. But so okay then, I know we're going to do a promo for Dirty Blondes at the end, but before then, what can people expect when they come and see you live?
I never know what to say to that question. I don't know. I don't know. So I always feel like my mind goes like, "What do you expect?" It's like should I take my shirt off? I don't really know. They want to see if I slap my belly a little bit. Like I don't really expect.
Just a magic trick here and there, But
I'm gonna pull a rabbit out of the guitar case. So this is going to be a cool setup for London, especially. We're doing an acoustic setup, and I have my buddy Josh Birmingham, who played drums with me on my other tour. He just had a child, so he was not able to join on this one. He's going to be playing with me on Cajon. Dean, I talked about before from Backwoods, is going to be playing, accompanying me. And then we have this whole, configuration. Now all the songs, we've redone them to fit into this. It's gonna be awesome. The full band will be there in Preston, and so we, the full live. I think we play for about 90 minutes. Wow. So we'll have a lot of originals, a lot of covers all together. One big kind of in your face set, and then the acoustic sets is going to be me, kind of like a little bit more intimate, but as intimate as my songs get. Just playing the blues, playing soul, playing rock, playing old country, and having a lot of fun doing it. So you can expect to have a good time. I tell you.
I can't wait, mate. And I said the atmosphere on Dirty Blondes is amazing, and obviously got some new songs as well. He's saying they've had some good vibes from Scotland since you've landed as well from the couple of songs.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. We had a couple that when we played them, we had people coming to the stage asking about if they're an original song and asking about the names and stuff like that, and it happened often enough to where to stood out to me to where I was like, oh, okay, all right, I'll remember that for next time or down the road.
And you understood the Scottish accent then, yeah?
I didn't have that much trouble. I will say there was a couple times where I had to ask what like 3 times, but like for the most part, I caught on to everything.
No, I worked up there, like I say, like quite a number of years, and I got used to it. Like, you know, I mean, when I first went up there, I had a meal, and one of the guys, you know, the couple of the guys went to the bar. And I'm talking to this Scottish guy, and his name was Jimmy, funny enough, and he's talking away for 10 minutes. I'm thinking, when do I say to him? I don't have a clue what he's saying. I thought, let him go. I'm nodding and going, yeah. Yeah,
you just smile and nod.
And I said, Jimmy, I'll be honest with you, I have not a bloody clue what you just said for about 10 minutes, you know. I think he swore. But, casting our eye over then the future, then, what can we expect over sort of the next 12 months plus from yourself?
So coming up, let's see. So we get back to Nashville on Monday. We got a few shows in Nashville coming up over the summer, which that'll be exciting. We get back in the studio. We got 4 new songs that we'll be recording hopefully in the next month or 2 and releasing them. I'm up in the air still whether I'm going to do, you know, all at once or just kind of do one at a time. But yeah, so that's kind of like the immediate radar for the next 12 months is doing more of this, being over here, being back, you know, in the places that I used to love touring in the States, and getting back in front of, you know, live audiences and getting back on stage.
So, okay, my last question that I ask every single person who comes on the show. You have got a fire pit party going on, right? And you can invite 6 people that's inspired you throughout your life. It could be past, it could be present, it could be family, it could be musically orientated, it could be religious, anything, anybody around there, or a good mixture. Who would those people be?
6. You said 6, yeah? It's 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Bob Seger.
Okay, cool.
Bob Seger, Joe Cocker. So if it's a band, does a band count as one, or it has to be like the lead singer, or like the guitarist?
Well, you can have the band. It's your part of
the band.
I'm only giving you guides.
All right, cool. All right. I know how strict the rules were. So, Bob Seger, Joe Cocker, I'd say Hootie and the Blowfish were massive for me growing up. Yeah, absolutely.
Gary Strucker the other week was just unbelievable again. I've seen him so many times. He was at the
crazy. They played a show in Nashville in December at Exit In. Exit In's, I don't know how to describe it. It's probably maybe 5. If there's 700 people in there, you can't move. So there's 5, probably 500. And it was like a warm up set. They were doing one of those, like, you know, in Mexico festivals, whatever. It was like a warm up set for that. Oh my God, dude! I mean, because I grew up in the neighborhood they all lived in when they all blew up.
Carolina, South Carolina, yeah. Oh
man, so like they got me playing music. That's like what started me playing music for sure. So yeah, so I'd have them there. That's 3. God, 6 is kind of tough because like if you have to do, like, if you have to narrow down like 1, 2, 3, it's okay, this one now. But like 6 is like, okay, now I can include as many. Oh gosh, I would say 1, 2, 3. Sam Cooke. Probably Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah.
And I like to pick Elvis's brain. That's who I bet he can kind of, and he could party too. So that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait for that new film to come out. Really, is it Tom Hanks as Colonel Sanders or something like that?
I don't know. I haven't heard about this.
Right? Yeah, it was on a trailer yesterday when I went to watch the Harry Potter thing, the Fantastic Beasts, and it looked really in depth and sort of different sides of Elvis as well growing up.
Oh, that's cool.
And sort of like cradle to grave kind of biopic thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what you've just told me now, and it's quite interesting when I ask this question, because I don't normally ask halfway through the interview, who was your inspiration? I ask at the end, because then I think, yeah, I actually, what you just said now, all those artists that you've said, I would say there are elements within your music that I've listened to that are, you could actually say there's a vibe there from, you know, Stevie Ray Vaughan. There's a vibe there from Bob Seger. You know what I mean? And again, Bob Seger will. If I said to Bob Seger, "Who is your fire pit partner?" He'd go probably Elvis. He'd probably say, you know, all, you know, the blues. You know,
right, absolutely.
You know, Muddy, but you know, and all these people. And you think, yeah, it's that in your music, and then they'd probably go, yeah, Hank Snow, and it was, yeah, you know, and it is what it is, isn't it? And I think that's why I ask it, because sometimes it just saves a lot of time saying, right, who's your inspiration? And people, like, who would you invite to a party? And the best one, you'd love this. The best one, I can't even remember the artist who told me. He said I would invite Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Garth Brooks, Jesus Christ. I went, I would pay good money to be at that party.
Yeah.
Because you can just see Willie Nelson going, yeah, JC, once, you know.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Oh,
burning bush jokes in there and all that.
Tell you what. And like Garth Brooks, you know, blame it all on my roots. I got friends in low places, and Jesus Christ going, you know, come on.
Exactly.
But I love it. But I tell you what, Drew, it's been an absolute pleasure. Can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Paul, thank you so much for having me on, man. It's been awesome talking with you as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This is, I mean, again, like I said, this is the part that like excites me the most, to be out doing, like, you know, talking to you, being out on the road. This is what I love about music the most, and so I'm happy to be doing it again, man. I'm excited we'll be able to party together on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll have a few root beers or something like that along the way.
Couple cold ones, maybe nothing crazy. Yeah, it's in bed by 11.
I know. You'll safe travels anyway for the rest of your tour, and like look up the Tram Shed restaurant, like I said, in Shoreditch. Like I said, if you're a vegan, don't even go anywhere near it, or a vegetarian.
Not an issue.
No. But some of the best steaks I've ever tasted, to be honest.
I can't wait. That's awesome, then.
But no, safe trip. Good luck on the rest of your tour, and I say I look forward to seeing you on Saturday, my friend.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to see you as well, for sure.